I'm going to do a different version of a bowl. But what I want you to know is changes you can do regularly. And there's small changes, but you can boost the nutrients in your meals. So for that, I'm going to show you just some little tips that you should always be thinking about now that you're like super empowering your nourishment with like a lot of good things in your body and taking out all the processed stuff. So in this case, today we're going to do, you would think a simple thing as rice and lentils, okay? But I'm going to show you how to just boost it with a lot more nutrients for more plants. There's nothing wrong with eating just a bowl of brown rice with some cooked lentils. That's good, but this is not enough. Now you know better that you can just boost it with a lot more nutrients. So we're going to do that. But first I'm going to go the fastest, really quick slaw, just because we can do a slaw really fast. I already started it with some red cabbage here and some carrots. I'm using a cheese grater just like that in this bowl. Put it in there, and now I'm going to do green cabbage. I want them nice and colorful. Just grab the cabbage just like that on the um, large holes of the cheese grater. I mean, this takes really no time. And you can do like large cabbages and then just put them in the refrigerator and let them sit. It actually, it goes well getting marinated a little bit and stays over time. So it could be like a quick winter salad that you could do it. So imagine I finished that. So here's my, so now mix it up like that. And then the other thing I'm going to do is like an onion directly. I have a red onion in here. So the same thing, use the cheese grater there and go and grab one of the nice sides and grate the onion in there. Just a little bit. This is just a seasoning too. But again, you're adding a lot of the nutrients from onions are really good also in terms of antioxidants. Great against inflammation too. So you add a little bit of that, and then you're gonna season it with just a pinch of salt, some pepper, any vinegar you want. I have the apple cider vinegar. Actually, I have very little of it, but it's okay. Just a little, like a tablespoon or two. What I do have here is I've done my pickled jalapenos here. This is you probably have seen them. You can have them from like a can. They sell them pickled jalapeno. These ones are the natural slices. They're sliced, and that juice is mostly vinegar. So actually, if you want a little kick, a little spice, so just juice a little bit of this vinegar in it as well, as complement to the other one, and then just mix it. And so you actually, it's great if you just let it rest for a little bit of time, but you can eat it right away too. And that is, look about that, all the, a lot of fiber. It's also very low in calorie. And the magic about this salad is you get a bowl, you eat that bowl, all that fiber is gonna make you feel full, especially if you go into like, you're cutting calories, so you reduce the amount of things you're eating and you cut the servings, which is part of a diet, but you feel hungry and hungry all the time. So things like this kind of salads are going to be good to keep the hunger away. You can also grate an apple in here, and I'll make it a little nice sweet taste too. And again, add more ingredients. So that's done. Now, for the rice and lentils. So quick thing, I soak these ones. This is black lentils and brown rice. I already pre-soaked it. It's a cup of brown rice, half a cup of the lentils. Put it in water after rinsing them together. Cover it for a couple of inches, then I drained it, and that's it. So that you would do that, and then you would add about 4 cups of vegetable stock that I have here that I made, no salt added. So it's great. So, but I want to show you one different thing. You would put it in your pot. It's a good practice also, not only, soaking it with just speed the cooking time for both brown rice and lentils. What I love about this is also you put them together and in the same bowl, they cook, the brown rice and the lentils cook pretty much about the same time. And you would speed that by soaking them about 30 minutes or something. Now, as I said, in a regular recipe, you would go ahead, get your liquid and put it in there. However, we're gonna do the following. I'm gonna put it as I said, I want to add more nutrients to our recipe. So you're going to have a blender and you have about a packed cup of baby spinach in it, just like that, from like just raw from the package. If it's regular spinach, perfect. You know, have regular spinach has more nutrients than baby spinach. So you should know that. So you put the spinach in there, and then we put our vegetable stock or water. Of course, vegetable stock will have added nutrients than just water. And then, so now I'm going to blend this. Okay, just like that. You can blend this out. Yeah, you're going to get a nice like green liquid, which is exactly what you want. So by adding that in the stock, you're adding a lot more of the nutrients. So we're going to put it in there. So you can turn it on and start cooking. One thing I would add, and I have here, just as that starts cooking, you can add a little bit of onion, like a half an onion. I have a little piece of ginger. I like it with ginger. So you can just, it's like maybe half an inch of ginger, but make it as thin as possible. If you want garlic instead, or both ginger and garlic, great. Again, more nutrients, remember, more nutrients and more things in it, more flavorful. So, but you could, I don't recommend, well, it's up to you. Depending, if you really like the ginger flavor, you can add the ginger in the blender and blend it. However, it might turn way too spicy if it's fully blended in the liquid. So I like it just chopped, finely chopped. Once you put it in, then we're gonna add it in there. You can also put like a little, I think I don't have any more right now, bay leaf in the rice and lentils, but here we go. We're gonna put our right into our pot, and then you can season it with a pinch of salt, especially if you didn't put any salt in your vegetable stock that you made, or you got the low sodium one. Then a little bit of pepper. So you see it's like bright and green and really nice. So you can give it a little quick stir. Other options that you can do instead of adding nutrition, obviously this will be green and really beautiful, but you can also do with tomatoes. Blend some tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Right now in the winter, tomatoes are not great for it being fresh. Some are, some not. So you can blend them with the stock and make it red. You would be red like red rice or red rice and lettuce. So then you're going to bring it to a simmer, then you're going to cover it and let it cook. So already I made a little bit here. Here, so that one already is cooked. So if you see how it gets a little duller, the green, obviously, because it cooks for like 30 minutes or so. It should be a really nice consistency. It's almost a little bit soupy, which is fine. Now I want to do the following. So of course, we could eat this bowl like that, and that's okay. But we're gonna add more things to it. So I roasted a couple of things. So I have here. So I roasted a whole eggplant. The whole thing, you put it in the oven at 350. You don't put anything, the whole thing entirely. It's a beautiful package that nature intended, and it bakes in the oven or roasts in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes if it's like this size, or maybe a little bit more, until you pierce it with a knife, it goes in and out. That's it. And then the whole thing, once it's really soft, it comes like that, and I just chopped it. So this is the consistency of skin and all, just maybe you cut the tips of it, and then you fully chopped. So now you have the flavor of this eggplant, which we're going to have a couple of these in here. We're going to just add our eggplant, the whole eggplant. Actually, the eggplant that I roasted it was a little bigger than the one I showed you. So now you have like another boost of nutrients in there. You mix it and you start warming it all together. Actually, the eggplant sort of disappears in the rice and lentils. And the other thing I have is some diced beets. These are yellow beets that I just cooked. These are steamed beets. So you're going to add them in there. You're going to provide some sweetness to it. And they're going to make it really nice. And the last that I have, just because I have it, but that's a great way just for you to add more nutrition is I have a spaghetti squash. The spaghetti squash, you know, it holds like this, comes like this. Sometimes I confuse them with melon, honeydew melon, something like that. But with this little tip, it's really hard. That's how you can tell this is the spaghetti squash if you're confused. So what I do is I cut it and put it cut side down, or after scraping the seeds in a baking sheet, and I baked it also. I actually bake it together with the eggplant, so they cook almost at the same time. So now that it's soft, then you get your fork, and then you scrape it. Now you get your beautiful spaghetti. So as it is, in goes to, see how now it's getting nice and bubbly and warming everything. Lower the heat if it's too hot. And to that thing goes our squash. Not only that, by doing all this, you're like suddenly boosting a lot of nutrients and also making it, this is obviously going to last more. You're like expanding the meal. So you'll be full faster. Again, another thing is this spaghetti squash. It has very little calories, but it has tons of fiber and nutrients. So take that advantage. So now you mix it. It's just going to warm it up nicely if it's not warm, the spaghetti squash. But if you need, you may add just a little bit of more vegetable stock or water to keep it. But yeah, you just added a bunch of things. So now, so we're going to serve it. And we have some chopped parsley because we're going to add a little more last minute color to this. So grab a little, I'm going to turn it off because it's getting hot. You can actually add a nice sprinkle of the chopped parsley. Just toss again. Again, this is another way of adding more nutrients into this. Once you mix it well, then you go scoop it and place it in a bowl, make it like nice, and then give it another nice sprinkle of the parsley. You can season it last bit with a little bit of pepper, for a sprinkle of salt. And
that's a powerhouse.
That's a powerhouse. You added so many of the different items. So you can do like the squash, you can do butternut squash, diced beets, you know, you name it. It's whatever you have in the kitchen. So that way you use all what you have and for a good reason, for your health. So yeah, you can serve that thing with a little bit of our
cabbage slaw. Oh, that looks great.
Cabbage slaw. And now look at this beautiful, nice colors. Have a great day. And post the pictures if you make them at home.